When you're trying to enter more than one date or time in Excel, there are a lot of built-in shortcuts that you might not be aware of. They often fall under the heading of autofill. A lot of you may know that a given month like January, or any month you can start with, if you drag from the lower right-hand corner of a cell containing one of the monthly names, you'll get month after month after month. If you drag downward or rightward, this moves ahead in time. If you drag upward or leftward, it moves backward. Same thing is true with days of the week. This is automatically built in. You don't have to do anything special here. And both of these also work with three-letter abbreviations, but only three-letter abbreviations. Also, a couple of quickies here too. Anytime you use the letter Q and the number 1 in almost any kind of combination, drag from the corner, you're only going to cycle through the numbers 1 through 4. Same thing with QTR1 and the word quarter. Try these with the one in front of the word or abbreviation or after, put in spaces, don't, and so on. Nearly all examples work. Fast and easy built-in capabilities. If you are trying to build a weekly series, note that in column A, here are 2 consecutive dates. They happen to be 7 days apart. They could be 5 days or 14, 10 days, any difference. Because we choose 7, the heading makes sense. Perhaps these are Mondays or Sundays. We'll highlight both of these and drag from the corner. If we drag downward or if they were next to each other in the same row and we dragged rightward, we get the same effect. Every 7 days, week after week after week. Again, what's critical here is the interval that's between the first 2 gets repeated automatically as you drag downward or rightward. Now, for a mid-month report date, maybe you've got some other statistics next to this, so you might start, say if it's the beginning of the year, 1/15/11. A couple ways to do this. One way might be, you might be thinking, okay, we should put in February 15th, 11 right here. That would work. We can highlight both of those and drag, but there's something not so well known, and that's the use of the right mouse button here. I'm going to drag the right mouse button downward, and as I let go of the right mouse button, remember the right mouse button, its purpose is to give us a shortcut menu. Here it is, fill months. Sure enough, the 15th of every month. And as we look at the data in column C, an end of month report, well, here's the end of January. We'd want to do the same thing here. And of course, one of your concerns, if you haven't used this right away, would be, well, there is no 31st of February, and never will be, and nor April. So what's going to happen here? If you start with any date that happens to be the last day of that particular month, if you right drag or use the right mouse button to drag that fill handle for as far as you think you're going to need this, as soon as you let go of the right mouse button, you get a prompt that says fill months, just like we saw before, but in this case, we're getting the last day of every month. I also meant to point out here is as you start to drag this, the pop-up tip in this case does alert you as to what's about to happen, but you can't always count on that working properly. For example, here's some data here. Ignore the heading for the moment as I simply use the left mouse button to drag. And of course, this is a handy way to enter data. We get day after day of data here automatically. If you do have a situation where you want to put in the same date twice, maybe 3 times, hold down the Control key. Be sure to let go of the mouse first. It causes these not to change. So that's another variation on building a series somewhat quickly. But anytime you need to copy a data and you don't want it to change, hold down the Control key as you drag downward. That's also as true of these types of entries over here as well, in columns G and H. The heading here says weekday sales. And maybe we want to start this on a given day. Maybe it's a Monday. Now, I think the 23rd actually is a Sunday. So it could be the 24th. We'll see in a minute. We probably would know for sure if this is a real-life situation. But let's talk about the idea that if we don't want Saturdays and Sundays here, we'll hold down the right mouse button, drag as far as we think we might need this, and then we see the choice, fill weekdays. And so you'll see a gap in here, of course. That's what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, we see the cycle. Those weekend dates are not there. Another great capability, a little hidden treasure there with that right mouse button. And you can also create time series as well. Now, suppose you want to create a time series. In cell L2 here, we're going to drag from the lower right-hand corner here with the left mouse button. What happens here? You see the little pop-up. we get every hour, exactly an hour later. Sometimes, of course, you will want to put in a series. So what if we wanted to put in a series beginning 8:20, for example? Maybe it's every 20 minutes. Maybe it's every 15 minutes. Just put in that second entry as we might have done with dates. So maybe we'll just put in here 8:35. That is a 15-minute interval. So if we drag from the corner here using the left mouse button, every 15 minutes. And of course, that could be every 17 minutes and every 13 minutes, whatever the interval is needed. It's a good, quick way to create date series whenever the interval is the same.